Yo, what is up guys? I am back again with the mechanics series. Today we are covering the Breezy flick. If you guys wouldn't mind dropping a quick like, sub, comment, it helps the channel out and it helps me. It's much appreciated. But other than that, let's go. Alright you guys, I just found myself here in free play. So before we get started, there are two prerequisites that you guys need to have before we can really do this mechanic properly. Alright, so the first prerequisite you guys need before we get in the mechanic here is, can you dribble in a straight line? Like this, okay? Okay, and then prerequisite number 2 is, can you do a musty flick, and mainly a musty flick doing it backwards. So here we go, gonna get a little dribble, and see if we can do a little musty flick, like that, there we go. Alright, and if you guys have trouble with both of those mechanics, the musty and the basic dribble, I have 2 videos already covering those, so I'll leave a card right there in the top right there, so that you guys can come back here to the Breezy tutorial and have a better idea what to do. I'm going to move on from this point, assuming that you've either watched both those videos or just have a general understanding of both the musty and how to take a basic dribble, and continue with the rest of the demonstration. Now, before we can move on to, flicking the ball here, we have to learn how to do the Breezy motion, okay? And it's really simple. All you have to do is just make sure that you have a arrow right bound, or for some of you, arrow left, okay? Right, so you need an arrow right button bound or an arrow left button bound, like this, right? My other one is arrow, like normal arrow, but you guys, it'll do something like this, right? Of course. So now that you have an arrow right button or arrow left button down, right, and you hold it the opposite direction. So if I hold arrow normally for arrow right, it'll just do this, okay? But if I hold in the opposite direction of where it's spinning, right, and I push it to my left stick to the left while I'm doing that arrow, it'll do one of these motions, right? I think some people call it a tornado spin, right? So once again, as long as you have either arrow right or arrow left, doesn't matter which one, right? As long as you're getting these tornado spins that look like these, then you're ready to go, okay? And then all the Breezy motion is when you are halfway through that spin, right? So this is a full spin, right? Look at that. It's a full spin. Okay, so what you want to do for the Breezy is you want to just stop halfway through, basically, and make sure that when you stop, that your nose is pointed at the sky. So if I stop here, like that, see? Then my nose points at the sky, right? So I just want to practice that. Boom. So jump, turn, and then just stop when, it's pointed at the sky. So just do that a couple times. Boom. Boom. Right? Just stop when it's pointed at the sky. Okay, so once you stop right here, right? This is where you stop using your arrow right directional, right? Your form of car control here. Right, you stop using that right here at the top, like that, okay? And then you move back to stick control. So watch this. So it's gonna go my arrow right, spin, and then when I get down there, I'm just gonna switch back to my stick, okay? So just my normal stick control, right, like this, boom, rather than this, okay? So just to recap, so it looks something close to this, okay? Boom, bang, right? So to my knowledge, for people who are using arrow right, you never stop holding the stick to the left necessarily. Like, your stick always holds to the left like this, right? It always does. But you just switch, what form of aerial car control you're using midway through the mechanic. So where halfway through, I'm like doing arrow right, and then I stop halfway and then switch back to my stick. But I never let go of left, right? And I'm assuming for arrow left people that it'd be to the right like that. So you never stop holding it to the left. It's just you stop, like, you stop using a certain arrow or aerial mechanic. Does that make sense? So arrow right here, and then right back to, doesn't move. Look, doesn't move. Doesn't move. Literally does not move. See? It just holds the left. You're just switching which car control you're using. All right, and just to make this super duper clear, okay? So in case you weren't able to completely visualize that the way I showed you, right? We're basically going from, like I said, these types of spins like this, right? And then we're just stopping so that we do one of these, right? So boom, when you do the Breezy mechanic, you're in the air, right? You're in the air the whole time, okay? Right? It's an aerial type of mechanic. It's just low to the ground, right? But still, all we're doing is, once we're done spinning, halfway through, like I said, here, look, boom, my bad, boom, right? We're just doing that, okay? Get up here, look, same thing, literally the exact same thing. Boop, it's just like that. Right? Right. Okay. Okay, here's the third and final motion for the Breezy. And it basically is just a musty, okay? So, like I said, like this, right? That's basically what you're doing, but you're just doing it out of those, couple motions. So, let's recap again. Spin up, down, Musty, okay? So spin, there, Musty, okay? So you're mustying, okay, when your car is pointed at the floor like this, right? That's the point when you're gonna musty, right? Right, so when you're spinning, right, somewhere in that rotation, you're gonna be facing down like this, right, when you're done, okay? So once you get there, that's when you musty. So boom, there, musty. See that? Do it one more time. Boom, there, musty. Okay, you see? Okay, and that's basically the breezy motion. Now we just have to incorporate the ball now with that motion, right? Do all those steps, but with the ball behind us, right? Then you're gonna get some type of breezy flick. So in every flick tutorial I make, I always make two very important points when trying to do a dribble. So number one is stick. So if the ball is not stuck to your car, right? So let me give it a little bounce, right? So wait for it to stick. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now it's stuck, right? So let's do it one more time. Boom. Little bounce, bounce, and then it sticks, right? So if you want a good flick, it needs to stick, okay? Before we do anything. All right, and if I didn't make it clear, the reason that we need it to stick is because when we jump, we don't want the ball to get that far away from us, right? Because again, if we do not have a stick and we try and go for something, it's just gonna do that, right? And we don't want that. Okay, and then point number 2 is that with the majority flicks, you need some type of momentum, right? So make sure the stick's there, and then make sure you have some type of momentum, right? So that when you jump, the ball comes out in front of you. That goes also for 45s, right? Somewhere in the middle, has some momentum, then you're good to go, right? Stick, and then flick, right? Boom. So just to recap, right? If you are doing a dribble, okay, and you come out too far in front, like that, then you're gonna, jump out in front of the ball, and then if you're too far behind it, then the ball's just gonna roll off like that, right? And we can't do anything, okay? So our job here is to find the sweet medium where we have a decent amount of speed, but not so much that it goes supersonic, right? Because again, if it goes supersonic throughout the flick, right, it's gonna speed past us, and then we can't do anything, right? Boom, speed. If it just speeds up past us, and we can't do anything. So the key here again is that we don't want to, like I said, we want to make sure that we're not, we don't go too fast, right? But also not too slow. And then when we do that, okay, make sure that when you're going for the flick, that I want you to jump like when the ball's somewhere on your hood, or not your hood, but like your windshield, okay? Your windshield is about the sweet spot, because what you want the ball to do is you want it to like play out in front of you like that, right? And we're gonna use a bit like that, see? So we're gonna use the edge of the car here to flick out in front of us, okay? So the main thing here, if you're struggling with this, is that you just need to have some good ball control, okay? Because if you can't have control of where you want the ball to be on the car at all times, then you're gonna have a very hard time with this, okay? So because again, I have a lot of practice with this, I know like how to get the ball, behind me, in front of me, you know what I mean? I can do all that. I can place the ball on the car where I want to. That just comes with a lot of practice, okay? And dribbling practice, okay? But that's how we do it. All right, I've covered almost everything. The last thing of note here I wanna talk about is the Musty itself. So if you watch my Musty video, I talk more in depth about how to get the ball to flick up, right? And let's be honest here, the Musty flick part of the Breezy, that's kind of what makes the Breezy, right? Like to have that scoop, right? So again, I talk more about it in the Musty video, but when the ball scoops like that, that makes for a very nice Breezy, in my opinion. So if you haven't, make sure to watch the Musty video, because again, I go in way more depth about how to get that ball to flick like that, right? And that makes it, like, again, for a nice Breezy. Okay, one more quick thing I forgot, okay? So when you guys are doing the Breezy flick, I want you guys to use, okay, this is a problem a lot of people have, right? Is, they don't really understand, like, how the ball pops up, all right? So what I want you guys to focus on when you're doing the Breezy is let the tornado spin itself from the jump, let that carry the ball, okay? So we're gonna use this motion and have that be the carry for the most of it, right? So boom, get to here, and then just let, you know what I mean? Like let that, tornado spin carry the ball up. So get under, and then let it lift it up like that, okay? That's how I do it, boom. And then I just let that carry the ball, and give it a pop, right? Because you'll see a lot of people get Breezes and you're like, well, how's it popping, right? But when I do it, it's just because I'm letting the tornado spin bit carry the ball for me. So boom, do it again. Right, do you guys see how it pops up nicely for me? Like that, see? So that's how I like to get them, is I just let the tornado spin pop the ball up. All right, once you've put all that together, you should get something that looks like this. And I mean, there you go. That's basically the mechanic. But again, if you guys want to get more power, this is my big tip. If you want more power on your Breezes, is I want you guys to really push, like how far and fast you can go with the ball before you go for the Breezy, if that makes sense. So boom, we're gonna really push the ball like out as far as we can, but without losing, you know, without dropping, right? Get a bunch of speed. You know what I mean? This is how I get like very fast musties. You know, is if I have more room and like more speed already to begin with. Trying to do 101, right? Hopefully that makes sense. Try and get a good one here. Alright, you guys, I covered a lot of information, but that's basically all I have for you for the Breezy flick. I'm gonna give you guys one more flick, and it's gonna be in slow motion, just in case, you know, you guys need a slower visual, if that'll help you, okay? But otherwise, this is all I got for you today. Alright, I hope that helped you guys out. If it did help you, let me know down in the comments. Leave a like or something. But that's all I got for you today. Bye.